Friday. Today is Saturday, April the 9th, 2022. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. And today I have with me my guardian angel, John, and we're going to be discussing the conception that you are a soul. And it's important that you understand it's not something that you have. It's not something that you have. It's something that you are. And it's called soul awareness. Awareness and soul are synonymous. To come to the awareness that you are not your thoughts, that you are not your body, that you are an awareness, an entity, if you could, that is inhabiting a physical medium of expression, moves you into the position to liberate yourself from subjectivity to your thoughts, to your memories, and even to your emotions. Not to be separate from them, but to be not entrapped by them. One of the challenges I had when I was younger was I was caught up in a lot of emotions, a lot of anger, a lot of fear, a lot of self-doubt. And I believed I was those emotions, and I believed I was those thoughts that those emotions were connected to. And it made life very difficult. When John first spoke to me, I didn't really realize it was him at that time. But it was the first time that something other than what my ears could hear or my eyes could see was presented to me as an awareness. Soul awareness is when your soul awareness actually begins to awaken, begins the moment you begin to become aware that you have thoughts, you have emotions, you have memories, but you're not them. Consider that. You have thoughts, you have emotions, you have memories, but you are not them. You experience those thoughts, you experience emotions, you experience memories, but now they are just memories. They're now just information stored in your brain. You are not them. They're contained within your biology in the form of information stored in your physical brain, and you are aware of them. You as the awareness, even now in this moment, if you're listening to these words, as awareness, you're aware that the vibration of the sound wave is coming through your device and you're hearing these words. They're triggering your eardrums to convert a frequency of a sound wave into the frequency of a thought wave. So that which is visible to our senses of sound becomes invisible to the realm of thought. And you as awareness, observing this movement of thought in your mind that's stimulated by the communication that we're broadcasting to you right now, that point of awareness where you are saying, oh, he's saying these things and these words are these words and that thought is that thought. As the awareness, recognizing you have certain thoughts, you're hearing certain words, in your awareness, that is where you begin to move to the locus of your consciousness, your soul awareness. The goal in today's meditation is very simple, and we always keep it simple because there's far more complexity placed around the idea of what we are as a being, what we are as a mind, what we are as a body, what we are as a soul, far more complexity than there needs to be. You are a conscious awareness, a soul. You have a body. You have a construct called your mind. You are not the body. You are not the mind, but you have them. You experience their reality. You experience the reality of sensation through the body. You experience the reality of information in the form of thought. You experience those things from the perspective of being aware. If your body was completely unconscious, such as in when your body is placed in a position where it's got surgery going on and they anesthetize your body and they cut into it or they do what they do to it, why are you not perceiving or experiencing the vibration of that consciously? Because we know there have been examples where people have actually observed and experienced and watched the surgical procedure happen on the body even though the body was anesthetized. How is that possible? When you come to the understanding that from the perspective of awareness, the minute you are aware of a certain thought, the minute you are aware of a certain emotion, the moment you recognize the emotion, the moment you recognize the thought, at that moment, as the observer of the thought and the observer of the emotion, you are not the thought, you are not the emotion, you are simply the awareness observing it. You may choose to become identified with that emotion, you may choose to become identified with thought, and therefore you lose that perspective of awareness that recognizes, oh, I'm having this thought in my mind, I'm aware of this emotion that I'm conscious of. In that perspective of awareness, your soul is beginning to awaken. It is through that perspective of awareness that your soul begins to awaken. You begin to awaken. And in that process of beginning to awaken, it is in that position of recognizing you are awake that you can begin to liberate yourself from emotions and thoughts that do not serve your experience of love, joy, and your ability to create experiences in this world. Only from the perspective of being aware that you are aware, independent of thought, independent of emotion. Only from that perspective can you begin to generate a new form of thought, new emotional energy, and learn to distinguish yourself in the present moment from the past memories stored in your biology. And as we have said, we keep things very simple here. The act that you can perform to direct your body to breathe, that simple, conscious, and deliberate act where you direct your body to breathe, is a point in your consciousness where you as awareness are now asserting authority over matter. In this case, the matter of your biology. This process, when properly understood and fully actualized, will also move you to the position where you realize you can actually begin to influence events in time and space once you understand the function of emotion in relationship to how biology and environment function from the perspective of energy. But this place of awareness where you can direct your body to breathe and you can direct your body to relax, you can direct your thoughts to be still, you can direct your emotions to be calm. From that perspective of directing the body, directing the mind, and there are various levels of difficulty depending upon how much or how little awareness you've cultivated, how much little or how much more authority you have cultivated over your thoughts and your emotions. This is not taught in your educational systems. You are not taught that your thoughts are something that you acquire from your teachers, your parents, books. Thoughts are things that you acquire from this world. You can also formulate your own thoughts independent of what the world would incline you to believe. But the simple act of awareness, directing the body to be still repeatedly until it remains that way, at that point you start to become awake. Your soul is now awakening. You are now awakening. Depending upon the environmental conditions in which you've been raised in, you may have thoughts and emotions that are extremely intense, positive or negative. You may have thoughts of a very destructive nature acquired from the medium of the world around you. But in the position when you recognize the distinction between your awareness, your thoughts, and your emotions, and your biology, at that point, you are on the path. You are awakening from the sleep of your personality, from subjectivity to the body, into the position where you can begin to utilize your emotional energy to create a life you would wish to create, and not simply live a life based on what you have been conditioned to remember or believe from what the environment has told you is true or not true. And so we will begin this process in a couple of minutes, and it is very simple to articulate your body into a state of relaxation, and then to direct your mind to be still and quiet. And there is not one among you that cannot learn this process, as long as you have enough ability to discern between your awareness and what your awareness is aware of, what your thoughts are and what you are as the observer of your thoughts, what you are as awareness observing vibrations called emotions. In that position, you can begin the process of liberating yourself from thought, emotion, from future fears and considerations. The act of directing your body to breathe, the act of sitting your body down, the act of deliberately having it breathe is a function of your soul. To direct your body to be still, to be quiet, to be peaceful is an act of your soul. Do not underestimate the power you possess even by the simple act of taking a glass of water and picking it up. That is a function of your soul directing the function of matter to operate in a very specific and precise way. The act of being able to put that water back down by your choice is you directing the function of matter to operate under your direction. And so sitting your body down and directing it to breathe slowly and deeply, and directing it to relax, to direct all of the muscles in that body to relax as you breathe, is an act of your soul directing the function of matter, in this case, your body. You're directing the function of your body to relax. As we speak, please, we encourage you to direct your body to relax, to direct it to breathe, to direct the muscles in your body from your face to your toes, directing them to relax while using the function of the body's breathing as the mechanism by which you direct the function of matter in your body to be still, to be quiet and open and receptive to you, your awareness, you, beautiful soul. If the body attempts to resist, because there may be certain emotions or certain thoughts, if the body attempts to resist because there are certain emotions or certain thoughts, simply assert your direction to the body to breathe and release deliberately and intentionally the tension, the thoughts, the emotions as you exhale the breath from the body. In this process, you are beginning to build an awareness of your capacity to orchestrate the function of your biology as a matter of personal choice. You can direct the body to function very precisely, very specifically. So continue that process of deliberately breathing, deliberately directing the body to relax, directing the muscles in your face, in your neck and shoulders to relax, the muscles in your chest and back to relax, using each and every breath that you direct the body to take in and that you direct the body to exhale. As you direct the body thusly, You are giving it your consent to relax, allowing muscles to relax, allowing the body to become quieter, calmer, and more peaceful under your direction via the mechanism of using its breath. While the body has its own independent functions in order to maintain itself, all of those functions may come under your conscious dominion when you have a deep enough awareness that that is possible. The simple process today in getting your body to simply relax and be still, to direct even certain thoughts and emotions to be still. You as awareness can direct, and you must become conscious that you can direct the body to be still. You can direct through your breath the mind to become quiet. You can direct through your breath your emotions to be still. The difficulty for some of you may only arise simply because you may not have practiced such a function before, and therefore you do not have enough experience. Some of you may be coming in contact with certain thoughts and emotions that may be very difficult or uncomfortable to wish to experience, but we can assure you that the moment you become aware of a certain thought or an emotion or a tension in the body, and you use the breath as a mechanism to direct thought to become quieter, to direct emotion to be still, to direct the body and all of its muscles to relax. Each breath that you take can intentionally direct the body to relax even more, the mind to become even quieter, the emotions to become still and calm. When you begin to feel the subsidence of thought, the subsidence of tension, the subsidence of emotions as a direct result of your assertion, directing the body to relax with the breath, as you become aware that the body is relaxing under your direction, that the thoughts can become still under your direction, that emotions through the action of your breathing will become quieter, calmer, and more peaceful under your direction at that moment where you begin to experience a growing relaxation, a growing silence, a growing calmness as a result of the direction you're giving the body, the mind, and the emotions through the mechanism of your breathing, directing your body to breathe in this fashion. As these elements of your personality begin to respond to your direction, you are awakening your soul from subjectivity to the body, subjectivity to thoughts, subjectivity to emotions and memories, where you now begin to move your awareness into that place of consciousness of here and now. And you have heard it said that the kingdom of God is here and now. And the only way you can know that this is true is to begin to experience what it is to be in the moment of now with a body and a mind and an emotional system that is quiet, still, and peaceful as a result of your directing it to function according to the suggestions we're offering you at this time. In this perspective of awareness, where you are able to say to the muscles in your face, relax. allowing them to relax, where you are able to say to the body, it's okay, relax, allowing under your direction all of those muscles to relax all throughout the body, repeatedly using the mechanism of the body's breath to direct it into a more profoundly open and receptive state for your awareness. As the body grows quieter through the use of its breathing under your direction, as it grows quieter, so too will you notice that this enhances a stillness in the place where there is normally thought. And even the mechanism of your breathing can direct your thoughts to be still, can direct your emotions to be calm and peaceful, to liberate your attention from memory or concerns about the future, using the mechanism of your breathing. This opens the doorway to remembering who you are as an awareness that is here to cultivate the capacity to understand what it is to be a creator, and not to simply be here subjective to the thoughts, the information that has been provided to you by the world exclusively. You are a consciousness that is capable of functioning independent of the thoughts you have acquired, the memories you possess, and the body's inclinations based on its organic and instinctual conditioning, as every single body originates with these from the moment of conception. There are fundamental things your body has that enables it to exist, to survive. But even these mechanisms of survival, what you call fight or flight, are subjective to you from the perspective of your awareness, understanding that you can direct that body that you are in to be still, that you can teach it, that even though it has been exposed to conditions that would tell it to be afraid, that you can teach it to not be afraid, simply through the mechanism of directing it to be still, to be quiet through the breath. And when you formulate your conscious intention to direct the muscles, the body, the thoughts, the emotions to be still, through the deliberate articulation of the mechanism of its breathing, you gain an awareness. You recover yourself. You pull yourself out of the illusion that the world has imposed upon you through the 5 physical senses, and can move into a position where you can begin to consider opening up your faculties of imagination for the purpose of deliberate creation, which cannot happen when you are subjective to memory, emotion, and biology that is not within the framework of your ability to direct it as a matter of an act of your will. As you breathe deeply and give permission to the body to relax, as you breathe deeply and use particularly the exhale of the body to release tension from the body, to release thought from your mind, to release emotion from the consciousness of your cell's electrical function, to release on the exhale tension, to release on the exhale of your breath emotion from the body, to release with your exhale thought from the mind. And the process works when applied consistently. The level of difficulty for some is only incurred when there is no practical experience with the process. in being able to experience that your body is relaxing under your direction of breathing. You gain an awareness that your body is something that you have authority over. And even autonomic functions of your body can become subjective to your authority when you have a deep enough awareness that that is the relationship that you have over matter, that this body is an instrument that will look where you tell it to look. It will smile when you tell it to smile. It will do what you direct it to do. When you have enough understanding, then you can become more mindful of what it is you would direct it to do. The same realization occurs in the realm of thought and emotion, that as you gain through this process the experience that through the deliberate act of breath, you can direct emotions to be still, to be quiet, to be peaceful as you exhale. That you can direct thought to be still, to be quiet as you exhale, as you gain the experience where the mind becomes a little quieter and the body becomes a little calmer and the emotions grow still. You gain the experience that you are no longer subjective to thought, to memory, to emotion, to biology. You move yourself into the experiential awareness that you are a soul, a conscious entity that is living through a physical medium of creation for the purpose of gaining an understanding of what creation is from the perspective of your awareness. We prefer things to be very simple, and it is. As you gain more familiarity with the idea that we are communicating to you today, that through the deliberate direction of your body to breathe slowly and deeply directs it to function in a very specific way, to be still, to be quiet. You can direct even the anxiety that you have to be still, to be quiet, to be peaceful. But this must be done in conjunction with the direction you give to the body to be still, to be relaxed. For the connection between your body, the emotional energy that moves through it, and the emotional energy that's stimulated by your acquired thoughts and memories, is important to understand that once you begin to direct one, you are affecting the others. So in directing your body to be still and relaxed, to direct muscles to be liberated from any tension, you will in fact be also simultaneously causing emotions and thoughts to alter likewise. In other words, the breathing and the releasing of tension from the body removes the tension of anxiety and anger and fear, because those emotional energies require the body be functioning in a specific way in order for them to exist. As the body is directed to relax more, the emotional function changes because you're directing the mechanism to change, and the function of a relaxed body only allows certain qualities of emotion to move through it. But the first step is always to realize that you are directing your body and it is following your direction, and that through the breath you can direct emotion through your breath, especially the exhale. You can direct emotion to be still, to be quiet, to be peaceful. Through the exhale, you can direct thought to be still, to be quiet, to be peaceful. And as you gain a familiarity with the change in the sensations of your body, as you become aware of the change in the function of the body, as you become aware of the change of the activity of thought as it diminishes through this process, you begin to remember that you are here as an awareness to learn to create and work with these substances of the invisible realm of thought, the invisible realm of emotion, and the visible realm of their manifestation through your biological organism that you are inhabiting while you're in this particular experience of lifetime. That you gain valuable experience when you learn to direct the body, direct the mind, direct the emotions to be still and quiet and peaceful. You gain the knowledge that you are a soul, you are awareness, able to interact as a matter of choice with thought, emotion, and matter, and that you are able to alter and change the qualities of thought, emotion, and matter from the perspective of being aware that you are a sentient being, conscious, aware, independent, and interactive with thought, emotion, and matter. We hope that you have grasped and applied, as we have suggested, this process of deliberately articulating your body to relax through the act of breath, where you are using the mechanism of this biological organism's function to breathe as the device to direct it to function in a very specific way for you. That you can use your breath of that body as a mechanism directing emotion and thought to function in a specific way according to your direction. In this experiential awareness, you become aware that I am not my thoughts. I am not these emotions. I am not this body. I have these elements of manifestation at my disposal to utilize consciously or not. For there are many in this dimension that are faced with the illusion that they do not know how to control their thought, or that they do not know how to regulate emotional energy, or that they cannot get their body to be still and quiet. And we would say to them, that is just a matter of a lack of knowledge and experience that can be gleaned through its application, as we've described in this process. To stay centered and focused in the direction that your mind and body will function in a specific way when you direct it to breathe in a certain fashion. Even the person with the greatest level of uncontrolled emotional energy, once they begin to gain experience through the deliberate assertion that they can direct the body to be still. And in so doing, emotion and thought begin to diminish in their activity, because you are directing the system to move into a state that resembles an inactive state, and so too your mind and emotions will follow. That experience will give even the most challenged individual the awareness that they, perhaps even for the first time, can direct and no longer remain subjective to the fears, the angers, and the uncertainties that are stored within their physical and astral realms of consciousness. It is your experience that we seek to stimulate so that you become aware that that mechanism you have called a body, those energies you possess called emotions, that those devices you call thought, that the three of those, when properly harnessed and utilized by you as an awareness, as a soul, as an entity that is conscious, that you can become an intentional creator of your experiences in this realm of creation, for that is what this realm is. You need only to consider, where does everything that humans have made up come from? Where do these ideas originate from? They do not originate from the physical world in and of itself. They originate from a very different place, but that is not what I came here to discuss through this one today. Understand that through the deliberate and intentional act of repeatedly directing your body to be still, quiet, and peaceful, using the mechanism of the breathing to direct even the emotions to be still on the exhale, directing. And it's important you understand that you are directing through the mechanism of breath. You are directing emotion to be still. You are directing body to be still. You are directing thoughts to be still. Now, let us also say, too, that there is a subsequent step to this process once you experience that you can generate a creation in that body that is more pleasing to you, that you can alter and change thought and emotion and the function of your biology through conscious, deliberate action of breathing, that you can also likewise stimulate emotional energies and actions of the body and thoughts of the mind that can strengthen and create and manifest a life of your own design, separate and independent of what you have been taught to think or believe that you can do or not. That you can learn to generate new thought, new emotion, and thereby new action. For when you bring thought and emotion into your body, you direct the body into action. For emotion moving through your biology causes action. But that is for another day. The process of creation follows a similar mechanism, as does the process of learning to assert the body, the emotions, and the thoughts into a state of stillness under your direction. And once those instruments are experienced by you as something that you have healthy, loving authority over, then the realm and the possibilities of creation can open to you. Thank you. Wow, thank you, John. My guardian angel John's been with me since I was 20 consciously, and I only realized in the last few years just how many times, not just my guardian angel John, but Archangel Michael and many other beings from other realms that have worked alongside me while I got through my my limitations of who I think I am. And these guides, these angels are available to everybody. They're available for everybody when you learn to open yourself up to them. And it takes time. It does take time, but you can learn to do it fairly quickly. Good morning, everybody. Let's take a few questions about this process, because it is very simple to understand that once you move to the perspective where your body, you know that your body follows your direction. Even the movement of this hand right now is following a direction that's originating from a non-physical place called thought. If you can begin to understand this, that the actions of the body originate from a non-visible place called thought, and a non-visible energy called emotion that we see articulating through the form, you move yourself into the position of no longer being subjective to what the world has taught you to believe. A question from Adam. Can I ask Pan to explain on if it is possible to do energy work without creative visualization? If so, what are the limitations on such, and how would this affect the manifestation of energy? No, I will, we won't address that question today because it's not really relevant to the process of just getting to the place where you realize that your soul is something that functions independent of thought, emotion, and biology. That your thought, your emotion, and biology are specifically designed to follow your direction with regards to the process of creation, which is what you are asking about now, that we shall leave till a day this week that shall be coming up to allow you to understand the answer to that question. That once you recognize that emotion is a substance of energy that can be neither created nor destroyed, but which is responsible for the manifestation of what you see in this physical world that was not there before the natural world was visited by souls that decided to exercise the right to create independently in this world. You will come to experience that truth. Thank you. Carolyn is asking, can you ask my father who has crossed over if he needs me to do emotional release for him? If not, what was that intense crying about? Thank you. Yeah. Just so you know, this one you call your father is in a biological incarnation right now. They're not in the non-physical realms. They've come back already to glean a deeper understanding. The emotional release work that you're feeling is your own. You cannot take creative responsibility for another unless they so request that you do that. He's already come back in a form. He's already in a form to learn what he didn't. And yes, I'm also being told to tell you that this great emotional release was for you to liberate all of that sadness and pain from your system. Yes, it is truly time for you. It is time for you to know that you do not have to carry the emotional burdens that others have placed upon you. You are learning to liberate them from your system. You're learning to release and let go consciously certain emotional qualities from your biology. And some of these that you released were inherited. They were emotions and thoughts that others did not wish to take responsibility for, and they chose to project them away and into the subjective field where it gets passed on to others in the form of DNA, where certain emotional and thought qualities that one does not wish to take responsibility can be denied and projected into matter in the form of DNA. And you are liberating these past emotions from your system. When you become aware that this is what you have done, what a delight, what a freedom to know that you have been able to now unlock and liberate from your own system the unnecessary sadness that others chose not to take responsibility for. You do not need to hold on to any old emotions, inherited or otherwise. You can literally liberate emotions as we've described from the act of breathing from that body in which you find yourself. Wow, thank you, Carolyn. Question from Mary. Today is my partner's birthday. He hates this day and is always very depressed. Why does he feel like this? And what can be done to transform this belief or emotion? The depression, it is important you understand that many of you are holding on to emotions and thoughts that were not even yours to begin with. Coming into a physical reality with a mechanism that is completely wide open and receptive to information loans itself to the reality that others can put information and emotion into your system that is not even yours. The loss and the sadness that he has stored in his body can be released through what we have described today, the process of feeling. In his case, much of it is stored in this part of his body. This vibration that you're labeling as depression is an emotional frequency that's predominantly stored in this part of his body. To have him breathe, to have him deliberately exercise the body's mechanism of breathing to release depression, to release sadness, to bring the body into a state of open receptivity through the release of these emotions. Have him breathe and release the depression, the energy of it. He will feel it leaving the body as he gets the body into a state where it is open, relaxed, and following his guidance. This is what happens when you direct your body to breathe in a certain fashion. You are asserting your authority over matter, and you can direct it to relax, to be still, to be peaceful. You can direct the emotion to be released from the cells of the body, from the memory of the body, through the act of deliberate breathing. If he persists in giving that emotional energy permission to be released through his breath, as he repeatedly allows that vibration to be released from the body, he will discover that he is his own healer, that he does not need to carry those old emotions around any longer. Some of them are his, but much of it is what he was given. Yes. People do not realize that they are these divine entities called soul, that you are here to learn to master conditions of energy in the form of emotion, which cannot be created nor destroyed, but can be altered from one state of function to another. The vibrational emotion of depression is simply an energy called depression, and that energy can be altered and changed from that state into another. If he were to focus on the most beautiful and loving consideration at this moment, he would feel that vibrational energy of depression begin to change, because he's now introducing a new vibration through intention. But yes, he does not need to carry those old emotions around. Thank you, Mary. Question from Nancy. Are my dreams showing me what I need to work on in myself? It's funny, this came up earlier this week. I'm really grateful you're bringing it up again. Many of our dreams, please understand, many of the dreams that you have are your mind and body's way of interpreting through the filter of their preconditioning information that you as a soul come in contact with. You do not receive information exclusively through the 5 physical senses. You also receive information through clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. You have these faculties that are not physical faculties that you as a soul naturally have as functions of your consciousness. As your body has its 5 physical senses, so too do you have non-physical senses that many of the masters speak about. What happens when you move out of the body, especially when you put that body to sleep and you no longer are in it, you leave that locus of identity and you as an awareness are functioning independent of it. You may experience or encounter information, knowledge, time, spaces, places that are not of this realm. And when you bring them back into the physical realm, the interpretive process of your mind and body is that it will try to understand the information that you're bringing back at the level of the framework that it functions at. In other words, your mind and body try to understand what you are and what you're experiencing, what you're bringing back into it from the information they already possess. In other words, they distort the truth of what you experienced, because that's the way that this system tries to understand and comprehend reality, so that it does not feel threatened or harmed by something other than itself. And again, if you want to know more about this, I encourage you to look at our mediumship courses and classes on my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and really go into this, like really explore in a simplest, easiest, safest environment these different faculties that you have of sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell, and how they work in relationship to the non-physical senses that you as a soul possess: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, and how memory and thought and emotion are simply information and energy systems that you use for the act of learning to create. But it's a great question. And again, your mind will try to interpret information that you as a soul bring into this realm from others at the level it's at. And once you train your mind to be still, to be quiet, you can begin to receive, as every great innovator and inventor can tell you, some of their greatest ideas happen when they're quiet, their mind is still, they're just kind of laying back, and all of a sudden information drops into their mind and there's no resistance to it. And you can train your mind and body to become open and receptive to receiving information beyond the framework of the 5 physical senses. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. Got time for one more question from Vertical. Is it that who does yoga most likely has less difficulties to keep the body calm and to avoid thoughts from entering because their energetic disposition is more aligned? Absolutely. The yogis, the mystics, not just yogis, but there are many native cultures. There are many cultures throughout tens of thousands of years of human civilizations. I mean, we've had Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu, Eden. We've had many civilizations where we've gained a lot of experience about understanding the differentiation between body, mind, thought, memory, emotion, soul, awareness. But this process of, if you want, yogic breathing, pranic breathing, yes, you can call it what you will, but it's still the articulation of breath as orchestrated by the individual awareness. In other words, anyone, whether they're a yogi or not, if they follow what we've been saying today, you can gain the experience and awareness that your body, your mind, your thoughts, your emotions are instruments that you can learn to utilize to cultivate an understanding that you are a creative consciousness here to learn the process of creation, utilizing these mechanisms of matter, energy, time, space, thought. Very exciting, isn't it? That you are here to do that. And anybody, even somebody who's seriously depressed or extremely anxious, if they gain the experience of how they can articulate and affect a change in their own energy, they'll become free and no longer subjective to those energies. They'll be able to generate energies instead. They can change energy from one state to another. That's our function as a soul. Thank you so much for that. Wow. So let's talk a bit about what we got coming up this week. On Monday, April the 11th, is going to be very exciting. I've got Carl Jung who's going to be coming, and he's going to be discussing what he's calling the animal you have. The animal you have. And in brackets, he said to write your body. So on Monday, April 11th, Carl Jung is going to be discussing the animal that you have. I'm very excited about that. Wednesday, April the 13th, I've got Babaji coming in to discuss the mind that you are not, the mental construct, the mind that you are not. And that's going to be Wednesday, April the 13th. On Friday, April the 15th, where new ideas are born. And that's going to be with Pythagoras. And I've never experienced the energy of Pythagoras before, but it's where new ideas are born. And then in brackets, the field of limitless possibilities. So I hope you'll join us this coming week for these days, and I hope you'll take the time to use the simplicity of this process. If I had been taught this when I was 20 years old, what a different life this biology would be in right now. But I'm so grateful that I am where I am right now because I have the experience of the polarity, the opposite of having no control and having learned self-awareness, and through which you have control and authority over matter, time, and space. If you're new to the channel, please remember to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithms. Hit the notification bell so you'll know when we come live on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and Saturdays. This cannot be made any simpler than this. That you, the minute you choose to direct your body to breathe, you are asserting an authority over matter. And the same relationship exists between your thoughts and your emotions that you can learn to assert and gain experience of your authority over thoughts and emotions. Again, if you want to support this channel, you can go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. The link is in the description box below any of my videos. You can also donate through PayPal. You can also use the super chat feature when you come live. You can simply make a donation through the super chat. I want to wish you all much love, and I want to thank my guardian angel John for coming through today. And I know there were others as well. And I want to look forward to seeing you guys this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Remember, go to my website if you want to learn the process of mediumship. We have a full program you can enroll in at williammichaelforbes.com/courses. Have yourselves a wonderful, a joyful, and a beautiful Saturday. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.